Hello everyone, welcome to Prevent a Solution given this nice Mandoripian problem, which is the square root of 44 divided by square root of 55 plus square root of 11 raised to power 24. Now, solution here, we can express square root of 44 basically as 4 times 11 divided by square root of 55 can be expressed as 5 times 11 plus square root of 11, all this raised to power 24. Okay, now square root of 4 times 11, this is actually in the form of square root of a times b, which we can express as the individual square root of a times square root of b. Okay, so now applying this property, we'll have square root of 4 times square root of 11 divided by square root of 5 times square root of 11 plus square root of 11. All this raised to power 24. Now the next step here, you find that in the denominator, we have the square root of 11 is common. So we can factor out square root of 11. Okay. So now we'll have in the numerator, square root of 4, this is 2. Square root of 11 divided by square root of 11. Okay. Square root of 5 plus 1. All this raised to power 24. Let's proceed. Now square root of 11 simplifies, so that now we'll have 2 divided by square root of 5 plus 1, and this raised to power 24. Now we can express 24 basically as 8 multiplied by 3. Now here we'll have 2 divided by square root of 5 plus 1 raised to power 8 multiplied by 3. Now, applying the indices identity, that is 8 to power n multiplied by m, we can express this basically as 8 to power m raised to power n. Let's apply this property, so that now we'll have 2 divided by square root of 5 plus 1 raised to power 3 and also raised to power 8. Okay, so let's proceed to solve this. Now we have 2 divided by square root of 5 plus 1 raised to power 3 raised to power 8. Now you can see this 2 divided by square root of 5 plus 1. Okay, so from here, let's rationalize the denominator by introducing the conjugate, so that you'll have the conjugate of 5 subtract 1. You also introduce in the numerator, that is square root of 5 subtract 1. All this raised to power 3 raised to power 8. Now from here, we'll have 2 times square root of 5, which is 2 square root of 5. Okay, subtract 2 divided by, now square root of 5 plus 1 multiplying by square root of 5 subtract 1. This is in the form of a plus b, a minus b, which actually we can express as a to power 2 minus b to power 2, the difference of 2 squares. Now here we'll have the square root of 5 squared subtract 1 squared, all this raised to power 3 and everything raised to power 8. Okay, so now from what we have here, this is 2. Actually 2 is common in the denominator, so we can factor out 2. So we'll have square root of 5 subtract 1. Okay, divided by, this is the same thing as square root of 5 to power 2. We'll have 5 subtract 1. Okay, and this is basically equal to 2 square root of 5 subtract 1 divided by 4. This one raised to power 3 and everything again raised to power 8. So let's proceed. So this 2 simplifies here, so that now we'll have square root of 5 subtract 1 divided by 2. All this raised to power 3 and everything raised to power 8. Now, square root of 5 subtract divided by 2 raised to power, this is actually in the form of a divided by b raised to power n, which we can express as a to power n divided by b to power n. Applying this property, we'll have the square root of 5 subtract 1 raised to power 3 divided by 2 to power 3, everything raised to power 8. Okay, so let's proceed here. We have square root of 5 subtract 1 cubed. This is in the form of a minus b raised to power 3, which you can express as a to power 3 subtract b to power 3. Okay, subtract 3ab a minus b. Okay, so now applying this property, you find that we'll have square root of 5, okay, raised to power 3, subtract 1 to power 3, subtract 3 times square root of 5 times 1, okay, into the parentheses we'll have square root of 5 subtract 1, okay, and this is divided by 2 to power 3, which is 8, and everything here raised to power 8. Now from what we have here, 5, this is the same thing as square root of 5 squared times square root of 5, subtract 1 cubed, this is 1, subtract 3 times, now this is 3 times square root of 5, multiplied by square root of 5, okay, plus, this is negative 3 square root of 5 times negative 1, so it becomes plus 3 square root of 5, okay, all this divided by 8, and again raised to power 8. So I hope you're following this. Now here we have square root of 5 squared, this is the same thing as 5, so we'll have 5 square root of 5, okay, subtract 1, subtract 3. Now square root of 5 times square root of 5, this is in the form of square root of a times square root of a, this is the same thing as a, okay. So applying this, so we'll have 5 square root of 5 subtract 1, subtract 3. Now we have square root of 5 times square root of 5. Following this property, this is the same thing as a. So here we will multiply by 5. Multiplying by 5 plus 3. Square root of 5 divided by 8. All this raised again to power 8. Now here we'll have 5 square root of 5. Subtract 1. Subtract 3 times 5, which is actually 15. Plus 3 square root of 5 divided by 8 raised to power 8. Now here we will have 5 square root of 5 plus 3 square root of 5. This is actually 8 square root of 5. Subtract negative 1 minus 15. This is actually minus 16 divided by 8 raised to power 8. Now from here, you find that 8 is common in the numerator, so you can factor out 8, so that we'll have square root of 5 subtract 2 divided by 8 raised to power 8. Now 8 and 8 simplifies, so that now we'll have square root of 5 subtract 2 raised to power 8. So let's proceed to solve this. Now we say let x be equal to square root of 5 subtract 2. Okay, so that means that square root of 5 subtract 2 is the same thing as x. So this follows that this is the same thing as 8 to power, that is x to power 8. So what is x to power 8? So let's proceed to solve. So now from here we can express this as let x be square root of 5 minus 2. So that means that square root of 5 subtract 2 to power 8 is the same thing as x to power 8. So what is x to power 8? Let's proceed. Now from this here, we can say that x plus 2, this is equal to square root of 5. Okay? Now we have square root of 5 subtract 2 raised to power 8. Okay? Now from here, we can say let x be equal to square root of 5 subtract 2. So that means that square root of 5 subtract 2, which is equal to x raised to power 8. So what is this? So let's proceed here. Now from what we have here, we can take negative 2 on the left hand side, so that we'll have x plus 2. Okay? This is equal to square root of 5. All right? Let's call this one equation 1. That is x is equal to square root of 5 minus 2 as equation 1. Now, from what we have here, let's square both sides. Okay? So we have to expand this equation until we have x to the power 8. All right? So let's proceed. So here we have x plus 2 squared, which is in the form of a plus b squared, which you can express as a squared plus b squared plus 2ab. Okay? So applying this algebraic identity, we'll have x squared plus 4x plus 4. This is equal to, now, square root of 5 to the power 2. This is the same thing as 5. Now here, we can express this as x squared. Now we take 4x plus 4 on the right-hand side. This is equal to, this is negative 4x, subtract 4, okay, plus 5. Now from what we have here, x squared, this is equal to negative 4x plus 1. Goes to negative 4 plus 5, this is 1. So that means that x to the power 2, this is the same thing as 1, subtract 4x. Okay? So let's call this equation 2. Now, from here, we have x to the power 2, this is 1, subtract 4x. So let's square both sides. Let's square both sides. So that now we'll have x to the power 4. This is equal to, now let's expand this. This is 1 squared, subtract 8x plus, this is 16x to the power 2. Alright? Now from here again, x to the power 4, this is equal to 1, subtract 8x plus 16 multiplied by x squared. What is x squared? X squared is 1 minus 4x. So this is 1 minus 4x. So now x to the power 4, this is equal to 1, subtract 8x plus 16, subtract 64x. 16 times negative 4x is negative 64x. So x to the power 4, this is equal to 1 plus 16, which is 17, subtract negative 8x minus 64x, this is minus 72x. Now this is x to the power 4. So let's proceed. Now let's square both sides again. Let's square both sides again. So that now we'll have x to the power 8, and this is equal to, now this is 17 squared. We'll have 17 squared, subtract 2 times 17 times 72x, okay, plus 72x squared. Okay, so let's proceed. Now you find that 17 squared, this is basically equal to 289. Subtract, here we have x to the power 8 is equal to 17 squared, which is actually 289. Subtract 2 times 17 times 72x, which is basically 2448x. That is 2448x plus 72 squared, which is actually 5184x squared. Okay, so from here we'll have 289 subtract 2448x plus 5184x squared. But what is x squared? We have seen that x squared, x squared is basically equal to equation 2, which is actually 1 minus 4x. So let's substitute this. So this is the same thing as 1 subtract 4x. So this is equal to 289 subtract 2448x plus, now here we'll have 5184 times 1, which is 5184, subtract 5184 times 4x, and this is basically equal to 20,736x x. Okay, so let's put the right terms together so that now we'll have 289 plus 5184, and this is basically equal to 5,473. Okay, subtract 24, this is 20,736. Okay, so we have 2448. Okay, so this is 8 plus 6, this is 14, so 4, 1. So this is 4 plus 3 plus 1, this is 8. This is 1, this is 3, 23. Actually, it's 23,184. So we'll have 23,184x. So we have x to the power 8. This is equal to 5473 subtract 23,184x. Okay, but if you recall, we're saying that let x be equal to square root of 5 subtract 2, which was equation 1. So let's substitute value of x. So x to the power 8, this is 5473 subtract 23,184 into the parentheses square root of 5 subtract 2, which is the value of x. Now from here, we'll have x to the power 8. This is equal to 5473 subtract, now this is 23,184 multiplied by square root of 5. Then we'll have plus 23,184 times 2. Okay, so this is basically equal to 46,000. Okay, 46,368. Okay, now that is x to the power 8. This is equal to, now 5473 plus 46,368. Now we have 5473. Let's add the 2. So this is 11, 1, 1. So this is 14, 1. This is 8. 6 plus 5, this is 11, 1, 1. So this is 51,841. So we have 51,841. So we have 51,841 subtract 23,184 square root of 5. Okay, so x to the power 8, this is equal to 51,841 subtract 23,184 square root of 5. So this is the value of x to the power 8. But what is x? We are saying that let x be equal to square root of 5 subtract 2. So that means that square root of 5 subtract 2 raised to the power 8, this is equal to, that is square root of 5 subtract 2 to the power 8, this is equal to 51,841 subtract 23,184 square root of 5. Okay, so this is what we have here. Now that basically means that the square root of 44 divided by square root of 55 plus square root of 11 raised to the power 24. This is basically equal to 51,841 subtract 23,184 square root of 5. And that's the solution. So kindly follow the steps, like this video and subscribe. Bye bye.